This is a ramen shop run by cats. To prevent cat fur from falling into the ramen and affecting the business, they decided to hire a human. However, the unusual condition for the job was that the candidate had to not like cats. The person hired was Annie, but her role wasn't to keep an eye on the customers. Instead, she was there to brush the cats. The specialty of the shop was the cats serving the customers. The reason they hired someone who didn't like cats was that the customers were all huge cat lovers. If the staff were all cat lovers too, it would interfere with their work. One day, a man came in and caused a scene, claiming there was cat fur in his ramen. This was something the manager had gotten used to, as they had already posted a notice on the wall warning about it. Besides, the man had already finished his ramen, so no refund was possible. It was obvious he was just looking for a free meal. The man pretended to call and report the restaurant, but the cats remained calm because they had an enforcer on staff, an enormous tiger.
大丈夫です。ごちそうさまでした。失礼します。
After handling the situation, the tiger, Krish, bowed and apologized to the other customers in the shop before heading back to the kitchen. But once Krish returned to the break room, it burst into tears. Krish was a shy, introverted tiger, and scaring off the rude customer had taken all of its courage. At that moment, the gray cat asked Annie to brush its fur and shared with her that although Krish looked intimidating, it was actually just a very shy cat at heart. Later that night, the cats finished their work, and the manager introduced Annie to the team. The black cat was responsible for plating and side dishes, while the white cat, Little Flower, handled customer service. Little Flower was incredibly popular, though often a bit mischievous with the customers. The gray cat took care of the cashier duties, and the massive Krish was in charge of making ramen, often hiding in the kitchen because of its shy nature. The orange cat was the manager. Annie shared that she had gotten the job through an aunt, who was actually the previous owner of the restaurant. The cats were very grateful to her for all the help she had given them. Hearing this, Little Flower got upset, realizing that Annie had come in through a backdoor connection. Annie thought that meant the others disliked her, but the manager reassured her not to worry about it. The next day, Annie began her official duties. From 9 to 11 a.m., she was responsible for brushing all the cats. At noon, she started cleaning the cats' areas. Since the restaurant was still open, she couldn't use a vacuum cleaner. The break room was full of fur, no matter where you looked. After a long day of work, the manager invited Annie to try the staff meal. However, to her surprise, the gray cat handed her a labor contract. Annie was moved to tears, remembering how, at her previous job, she was constantly made to jump through hoops when it came to both getting hired and leaving. And Annie, seeing the harmony between the cats, felt incredibly happy. One morning, the shop had a special guest, someone looking to do a live stream of their visit. This made the black cat furious because the shop had always banned filming. The man refused to leave, so Krish decided to handle it. But Annie stopped Krish. If Krish appeared, it would only make the man more excited. The man's live stream quickly gained 30,000 viewers because nobody believed there were actually talking cats. The man grew more arrogant, but Annie stood her ground and insisted he leave. The chat room filled with people mocking the man. At that point, all the cats joined in, telling him to get out. Just when the man was about to lose his temper, a well-dressed man entered the shop. It turned out he was sent